all want good, healthy relationships with our children, with our spouses, and not forgetting our workmates. But we realize we do not understand their emotions, or we do not even care what's happening in their lives. Today we have a very, very interesting topic, Stoplight. It's going to take us through on how to create relationships, on how to connect with different people. Well, we have an expert in our midst. He's going to tell us step by step, explain to us, tell us what Stoplight is. How do we connect with people? How do we build relationships? How do we work with one another? How do we, it is a lot. In our midst, we have an ambassador of Stoplight who is going to take us through on how to build relationships with different people. You are most welcome, David.
Thank you, Damali. My name is David, and I'm married to one wife who is a woman, and I have children. I am also a teacher and a minister at church.
Wow. So, David, tell us more about Stoplight. What is Stoplight? What is it about?
Stoplight, in simple language, we call it stoplight, but in scientifically, we call it brain science. And brain science is about understanding how the brain works, the different states of the brain, how the brain is divided. So we put it in simple language to the three colors of the traffic lights, that is red, green, and yellow, to represent the three brain states. Yes.
Okay.
So, what does red?
Okay, before maybe we go to red, Lillian, we can talk about many cases today in Uganda or in the world. Many people focus on the IQ, that is the intelligence quotient, or the knowledge that we get from school. Okay. And then they don't focus on the EQ, and that is the emotional quotient, which talks about the emotions. And today you find many people have failed to live with their friends, many people have failed to develop their families, and many people have failed in marriages because they lack the emotional quotient. And now majorly, Stoplight helps us to develop the emotional quotient.
David, what is emotional quotient?
The emotional quotient is ability to understand and manage our emotions. Yes. So today, many people have failed to manage their emotions, not because they don't want, but because of the environment where they grew up from, or from the families where they grew up from. So I can tell you, there are different families that we have grown up from, maybe you, Lillian, and me, and even somebody out there. We grew up in an environment where there are rules. They set rules: don't do this, don't touch this, don't do this. If you don't do this, you are going to be punished. If you do it, you are going to be rewarded. So there are two pillars. When you look behind here, we have the rules, and then if someone obeys the rules, that person is rewarded. And that is how we grew up from. If someone disobeys or fails to work hard, that person is punished. So the relationship is built on rules. Don't do this. And in most cases, they don't even tell you why you are not supposed to do it. So that is where the problem comes in, that you are given rules without explaining why. And that is why today you find that people have different emotional quotient. This one can manage the emotions, and this one cannot manage the emotions because of the environment where they grew up from. Myself, I can give you a story that I grew up in a home where my father was very tough and so bitter that we developed fear. There was no close relationship. everything was about task, that is work. So everything was based on work. So therefore, if you don't do my work, you're not my friend. So the love was conditional. If you do what I have told you, I love you. If you don't do what I told you, I don't love you. So the relationship is built in work. That is the task. And that is why, even when you look at the Old Testament in the Bible, God also started with this kind of approach, the rules. We are saying that the rules are not bad, but how do we bring them? Number one, people need to understand why you are saying they should not do what you are told them not to do.
Yeah.
So they need to be aware that there is something, that there's a result or there's a consequence. If I do this, this is what will happen to me. So that is where the problem comes in from. So what do we want to be? Which kind of a family do you want to live in? Which kind of marriage do you want to live in? Which kind of children do you want to bring up? Many people will tell you they want a loving home. They want a caring home. They want a peaceful home or a healthy home. So, but how do we reach there? There are two approaches here that you can see in front of us. There is what we call the stoplight approach.
Stoplight.
Yes. Then there is what we call the behavioral approach or the traditional approach. So I want to briefly to talk about this, that with the ordinary approach or the traditional approach, the foundation is based on rules, the rules that you don't even understand. And then there are two pillars there. You obey, you are given rewards. You disobey, you are punished. And now, what will be the result? What are the consequences of this? Number one, punishments and rewards, they create what we call conditional acceptance. You accept somebody because they have done something to you. And then that relationship will not be built well. It is called a fragmented safety. It has a fragmented safety. Today I'm safe, tomorrow I'm not safe. Or I am safe for 1 hour, another hour I might not be safe. Have you grown up in a family where you feel, I am safe now, but when my dad comes back home, I am not safe?
Yes.
You hide.
You all run away
That
to
is
your
what we
rooms.
call a fragmented safety. You are not sure. Are you in a job that you feel, I am safe this month, but next month I might not be safe? That is what we call the behavioral approach. They focus on behavior. They don't focus on what causes that behavior. So the doctors out there, you know about the signs and symptoms. If you treat the sign, you may not manage to heal the disease, because the sign is brought up by something. There is something. Like if a child is vomiting, it means there is some disease that child has. So in Stoplight, we look at deep. We wear the Stoplight glasses and we are able to see what causes that disease. So for us, we look at behavior. Behavior is just a sign. It is not a disease. But our traditional approach, behavior is a symptom. Actually, it is a sign, what we see outside. But what brings that behavior is the disease. So as doctors, as the Stoplight, we look in to heal the disease, not the behavior.
So, what you mean with a spotlight approach, you look at Lilian's behavior.
Oh, thank you so much, Lilian. With the Stoplight, that is behavioral, the traditional approach. They look at your behavior. You have poured the water, you have poured the milk. Why? And they punish you. But with the Stoplight, we look at what caused
the pouring
of the milk.
What caused the behavior?
So we begin with the connection. We first connect with you and we get to know, why did the milk pour? But the traditional approach, they say, you have poured the milk, you are punished because they see behavior, they don't see something that is deep, what causes.
Actually, in the traditional approach, even before you pour the milk, you're warned. Kastoga you are.
So that's why
Yes.
if you pour the milk,
If you pour, even before you pour,
so
Lillian, bring me that milk. But if you pour the milk,
so
so with Spotlight, you're going to look at that behavior before?
so how do you cause that? Now already do you see why a child has poured the milk before even? You have brought fear. The moment you do things out of fear, you are going to make mistakes. Have you ever realized when your mother is there, maybe when your father is there, or even when your boss is there, you make more mistakes when they are not there than when they are not there? Reason being, you make more mistakes
when
your boss is there or when your parent is there, more so if your parent is tough. You make more, you break glasses, you pour sauce than when they are there, because you develop fear.
Actually, even just mere looking at you like this,
you develop fear.
Fear.
By the end of it all, you pour the milk.
Hold on, you've reminded me of my friend Bambi. She used to stay with her auntie who was so tough, just like Lillian told us. Like before even you carry the milk, you're warned if you pour it. She tells me her auntie told her, "Can you please bring the plates? We are going to serve visitors." Then somehow she slipped. But she tells me, I struggled. I had to make sure these plates don't fall down. I mean, I held them. I just imagine how that person was struggling. You are, you're almost falling down, but you're supposed to make sure these cups do not fall down, the plates. But then she really felt, she had this,
so punishments and rewards are majorly based on very many things. I will share with you a few. Number one, if you use this approach of punishments and rewards, number one, they are short term. They work for a short time. Yes, somebody will finish the task that you have given to them, but it is not in them. It is just because they fear your punishment. Mommy will beat me, dad will beat me, or my boss will cut my salary or something, and they will do it. It is for a short time. It will not last. So when you are not there, they will not do what you told them to do. Have you ever realized girls who grew up in families where parents are tough, and the moment they move away from home, for example, they are now out of the control of the father, they have gone to the university, in the first semester, they are getting pregnant. What does it show? You did not develop it in their hearts. You brought it out of fear. So they did because you were there, but they didn't understand why they did that. So, number two, it is extrinsic motivation. It is something that comes from outside. It's not deep in their hearts. So whenever you do something that is outside, you want just to work to please someone, it is not part of you. But you will do it better when it becomes part of you. And then punishments are also focused on the past. A child will break the plate. A child will make a mistake. But what we tend to do as parents, we rush to punish them without asking them what caused the problem. Sometimes maybe a child is carrying the saucepan from the fire and did not use the piece of cloth or a paper. They used their bare hands. And what causes that? You didn't teach them. As a mother, you needed to teach them that when you are carrying a saucepan, you need to hold with something, like an insulator, like a piece of cloth. But you go ahead to punish them without knowing what caused the issue. I was carrying the saucepan and it burnt me. So I had to throw it down. You get it?
So, if when you get to know that, how is Stoplight helping parents to realize that or what they're supposed to do to help their children?
Thank you, Lillian, about that question. Now, the bigger thing is the brain. A stoplight does not look at the behavior first. We look at the connection. How do you connect with the people you are working with? How do you connect with the children? How do you connect with your wife and maybe your spouse before you look at the behavior? So it is connection, then you bring the approach, and later on behavior will be the result. So what do I mean? We look at the brain because it's about the brain. The brain is the center of everything. Somebody who is stress-free will work to their best because their mind is free. So how do we know this? Today, there are many problems that people go through in life. Before maybe we look at that, you need to understand the brain science, which is stoplight. So the brain is divided into 3 states. There is what we call the red brain. There is a red brain. There is a green brain. And then there is a yellow brain. That's why we call it stoplight. We go deep to study about the brain. What makes, in science, every person has the green brain. And the green brain is called neocortex in the science language. And when every person is in green, they are able to finish their tasks.
Yeah, and also able to learn.
And they are ready to learn. They are happy. Their faces are happy. They are smiling. They feel safe. So in stoplight, we build relationships. Which relationship do I have? How does my child take me? Am I a lion or I am somebody who is friendly? So when you begin with relationship, now you build one pillar, which is safety. Are you safe?
With your child.
Are you safe with the child? Or is the child safe with you? So we have the green brain. Every person works better. It is 100%. And the science says that if somebody is in green brain, you can teach that person a skill 12 times. You repeat only 12 times and they are able to learn. When a person is in yellow brain, that is what we call the limbic system. Our brain works like this. When you fold your hand like this, this part here is what we call the brain stem. In science, this is the brain stem. And it is called, in stoplight language, it is the ready brain. Then when you go to this thumb of mine, this is the yellow brain in stoplight. But in science, they call it the limbic system. When somebody's limbic system is active, it can be, you are able to receive 75%, or you are able to use 75% of your ability. When you are doing something, when you are working, you are able to use 75%. And in stoplight, they call it the yellow brain. And then this last part, when you fold it, it is now what we call the green brain. It is the most, it's the biggest part of the brain. And when a person is in green, when the green brain is active, you are able to work, or your ability is able to work 100%. And you are ready to listen, you are ready to be corrected, and you are ready to apologize and say sorry.
Green, that is when a child is happy.
Yes. So green, everyone needs to be in green so that they can finish their tasks. So, how do we get there? Red is activated automatically when your body senses danger. So, the moment your body senses danger, either the snake has entered the house, automatically the brain will activate the red brain. and it shows a person is supposed to run away. Now, this is where we bring the 3 F's. A person can freeze, like ladies, if they see a snake, they will freeze, assuming the lion enters your house right now. Some people freeze, they even lose energy in their legs. Or the snake comes in. Okay, let's say you are seated in the house watching TV and the house catches fire. That is a situation that can activate the red brain. But everybody has this. Now, if your child, or if you are this kind of a person who sees danger and you don't do anything, you don't fear, you don't feel frightened, you don't run away, it means your brain stem is not well developed. Now, the yellow is always activated when you are tired, you have overworked, you're tired, you're sick, you're hungry, you didn't eat. The body activates, the brain activates this limbic system. And it is not also good to work when you are in yellow. When a person is sick, when somebody is tired, they will activate that.
And when a person is in red,
when a person
annoyed,
when a person is in red, they are annoyed, they are tough. Some of them even are crying. If it is kids, you find them running away from you. They are scared. So it means their brain, red brain is active.
About this red,
yes.
My daughter of baby class, she went to her class and told her teacher, today I'm in red. I was there and the teacher asked her, why are you in red? What happened? Mommy has annoyed me. And I'm like, you mean here you teach them that when you're annoyed and not happy, you're in red? When you're happy but feeling weak, you're in yellow? But when everything is good, you're in green? You're like, yes. Okay. I'm in green.
So that is where the issue is. That child, I think the child has heard about stoplight, and we always encourage them when you are in red, it says stop.
Stop, yeah.
When you are driving and the traffic light shows red, you don't continue with driving. What does it mean? Whenever you are in red, you need to stop and breathe in and calm down and take yourself back to green. If you are in red, you cannot do anything. Even in marriage, if one of you is in red, don't continue talking. Because when you are in red, you can say a word that will break your family. You can mention a word
These
that
are colors,
yes,
that show our emotional state, right?
Yes.
Normally, which color are you in? Are you in yellow?
I'm in color yellow.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
And
You're in what?
I'm in green.
Hey.
And she's in green.
Everything is okay.
Everything is okay. I'm ready to learn.
State.
Yes.
Which emotional state are you in? Yellow, green, red.
And how do you know that you are in any of these? When you are in red, you are very annoyed, you are paralyzed, you are very upset. And even sometimes people fight, because when this brain state is active, the body tells you that I am not safe, and they want to protect you. So when you see children fighting themselves, it means they feel unsafe. They want protection. So what do? We want to calm them down so that they go back to green. Everyone needs to go back to green before you continue. So that's why we say red, stop. In your marriage, stop.
Yeah.
How do you stop? Go and find a free space. Move out of home, relax, and take yourself back to green. Then you can talk about the problem.
I need to know, of all these 3 colors,
Yes.
which color would you recommend for proper parenting as a parent? Which color should a parent be in? Which emotional state should we always be in? And you're like, please make sure you don't cross to this.
Now, every parent, every teacher, every person who is working with children or working with adults, we all need to be in green. Everyone needs to be in green because green means go. When the green light comes, it means go. So everybody is ready to work. You are ready to parent. Now, that is the moment when you are able to coach your children. You sit them down and tell them your expectations or your guidelines. Stoplight does not work with the rules. What is the difference between rules and guidelines?
No.
Rules mean, no, rules simply means this is what I have said and it is final. I am the one who knows it all and you're a child. But Stoplight tells us that guidelines are better because guidelines are things that direct us, but sometimes we can break them. Everyone can break them, but we move together by correcting one another because there is nobody perfect. If you, a mother, makes mistakes every day, if you sit down at the end of the day and assess yourself, how many mistakes have you made as a parent? How many mistakes have you made as a boss? And you want other people to be perfect. So there is nobody who is perfect. In Stoplight, we know everyone messes up. But out of love, we correct each other. We give them a chance to repair or to come back or to correct themselves. We do not punish. We do not punish. We help them to correct their mistakes with love. And with the time, they will respect you, they will love you, they will always fear to make mistakes. Why? They fear to break the connection that you have. If you have built a good relationship with your children, they will always fear to break that relationship. They know my mother has built trust of me and I don't want to lose that trust. If you are in the workplace, the person, your employee, will always fear to make mistakes because they feel there is connection or the love between the boss and him. They feel there is no big gap. You made them to feel that you are equal. All of us are equal. In the presence of God, we are all equal. Sometimes we can take ourselves above the children, but if we go to heaven, you might even find a child getting a seat. And for you, an adult, you don't get the seat. So we take everyone equal and we believe that everyone can make a mistake. And we help them or we give them opportunity to correct their mistakes.
So, Mr. David, what you're trying to say is that with Stoplight, I have to lower myself. I have to be humble.
Exactly.
How do I do that? Because we've always known that if I'm a boss, I'm your boss, of course, you need to feel my presence in the office. Now, how do I start connecting with my workmen when that subordinates?
Yes.
When that,
now, it is one of the old way of doing things, whereby people think power is the one that does things. Power will just make you to control over. Being a boss, you will remain a boss. Nobody will take away that power of being a boss. If you're a father, your children will always know that you are their father, and nobody will change that. But beyond being a father, you don't need to remind them that you're a father.
Actually, you don't need to prove a point.
And you don't need to prove a point that you're a dad. You already proved it by producing them. So you already proved it by building that organization. You're a boss. So you don't need to prove. But you need to show them that though I am the boss, but I am equal. Come to their ground and make them understand that you love them. Actually, it is this. Make sure you are safe. Are you safe? That is what people want. Are your children feeling safe with you? When you come home, do they feel safe? When you're a boss, do your workmates, do your employees feel safe? Then number two, another pillar that you need to build is respect. Some people fight for respect. Some people think that respect means when I'm greeting you, I should start at ease. Some people think respect means I should kneel down to greet. No, respect means, do you make people feel seen? Everyone wants to be seen. In the family, your children want to be seen. Your wife needs to be seen. Number two, they need to be valued. They want to feel valued. Do you value them? Even if they are your workers, even if she's a maid, do you value them? Even if she's a house helper or she's somebody working in your home, do they feel valued? Do you value their time? You are the boss. Do you value people's time? Or you just use them and you don't value their time? Do you make them feel heard? Do you give them opportunity to speak what they feel in their hearts? That is what we call respect. So,
is there any organization that gives you the opportunity to speak?
And that is why we are
What
crying.
you feel attached?
That is why we are crying today to the world there. Stoplight, that's why Stoplight is today says, do you make people feel heard? They have ideas. Sometimes these ideas can develop your organization. Your children need to feel heard, seen and valued. Do you value your children? Do you sit down with them and give them opportunity to share what they would love to eat tomorrow? Or you dictate and say, tomorrow we are eating this, tomorrow the other day we are doing this, tomorrow you are waking up, you are sweeping the compound and so on. Do you give them opportunity to also say something? Your house helper, your people that you work with, do you give them opportunity to speak, to give ideas? And that is when they will feel heard. Everybody wants to feel heard. That's why even today in Uganda, in our country, people want to feel heard. That's why they speak, so that somebody who is responsible will hear them. And then the third pillar is, if people feel seen, people feel they are heard, people feel they are valued, then they will be responsible. A person will always fight to make sure that the relationship does not break. So you will find the spouse will be working hard to be responsible to keep their relationship because you value them. How can you go, your husband, and you're on your phone chatting and your wife is seated there? Do you value her? Do you value her presence? And that's why many families are breaking today. Many people don't value their spouses. The woman is on WhatsApp and then the husband is there. Feels lonely. And maybe you all go in WhatsApp. Sometimes we don't value our children. We don't make them feel seen. You are at home, you are busy working. You carry all the work from your office and you take home. Your children need time with you. And that is why families are breaking. People have failed to bring up children because you don't give them time to speak. Sometimes they have a lot of issues happening. Haven't you ever seen children go and share their agony with the neighbors, share their agony with the chapati sellers? Those people, because those people who sell charcoal and so on, a girl will go and talk to them and listen. And then tomorrow you will hear that my girl has been impregnated by the chapati seller. Why? He gives her time. But for you, the father, you don't give your children time and they want to speak out what hurts them. Maybe they want to tell you that my neighbor is always touching me and so on, and maybe they are harassing me sexually, but they even fear you because they know that after telling you, you are going to punish them. So do you develop a relationship with your family that makes them feel safe to come and open up? And before that, do you even give them time to open up, to come and speak to you? That is the question.
Wow.
Wow.
Do you have time for your children? Stoplight has made me speechless.
Thank you so much, Mr. David. Our dear viewers, which color is your home? Is it red? That means it's toxic. If your home is yellow, it is warning. If it is green, you're good to go. Do your children feel safe, seen, and heard? We need to make sure we build relationships, connect with our children in order to have a green home school. Thank you so much, our viewers. We love you. Till next time. Bye-bye.